Can Bobby Pierce and Nick Hoffman do anything about Brandon Sheppard? We'll dive into that today, plus news from the Flow Series and Daniel Hilsabeck, Summer Nationals results, and some questions for you about good racing that doesn't involve big names. Let's go. It's Monday, June 24th. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. The Maverick IRA Speedweek ended last night at Terre Haute, and it was another Tyler Courtney win. He battled out front with Chris Windom and Noah Gass, eventually making a wild third to first move in turns 3 and 4 that definitely turned some heads. He kind of railed the top and then just cut through everyone in traffic to take the lead, a speed boosters engage kind of deal. Sunshine didn't get a chance to race for big money at Huset's, but ends the week with 3 wins, including that prelim show at Huset's, plus 2 with Maverick in the IRA. Gas finished second with Scotty Thiel going 6th to 3rd. Emerson Axum bagged an extra $1,250 for winning the 4-night championship. He had a win, 2 seconds, and a 9th. Great racing all week and an interesting course of events that led to big car counts and likely way more eyeballs than usual. We had a wide array of cars and drivers compete through the 4 nights, and I'm curious if you guys tuned into these races. With no outlaws or high limit, did you just check out of sprint car racing for the weekend completely, or did your attention then go to these races or the Super Dirt Cup races at Skagit? I think similar to what we saw with Ohio Speed Week, this set of races gave some other drivers the chance to shine and get some attention, and that included Axum and Ayrton Jenneton and Jacob Allen and Chris Windom, among others. It's clear that with the national teams mostly out of the picture and more opportunities to make features and run well, these other teams definitely showed up in force. But are big fields and good racing enough to draw fans when those familiar cars and names aren't on the event posters and entry lists? I'm not so sure. I've had this note down for a few weeks about dirt racing generally, and I want to bring it up here. I wrote down a while back just the phrase, good racing isn't enough. Seems to be a relevant idea for a lot of series and shows we get each week. I'll let you ruminate on that. It's definitely something I want to think about. I want you guys to think about and let me know, where you stand on kind of that idea, that thought. Hat tip as well to Lauren Kelly. He's the IRA announcer, and I think he's on his way to being one of the good voices in the sport. Pat Sullivan in the booth with him for some of these shows as well. But I like where he's heading as an announcer, and I think he's on his way to being one of the top guys. At Lincoln Speedway on Sunday, Jason Feger broke through for his first Summer Nationals win of the year. Kai Blight on the pole, but he was fast early on, but this one came down to Feger and Tyler Erb. Ryan Unzicker also in the mix there as well. Feger has now won 3 straight Summer Nationals races at Lincoln. His consistency through the week earned him the Week 2 championship, even though Erb won 3 times. The attention has really been on Erb and Feger, with Unzicker and Max McLaughlin also winning, but Blight has been fast like we've talked about. And we've seen Darren Klein run well. He's a name you don't hear very often, but he's been up in the mix a lot, leading some laps. Billy Moyer, also some strong runs this past week as well. On the modified side, Cole Followay won again. He's got 2 now. That matches him with Trevor Neville and Michael Long for the most on the year. Neville leads the modified championship through 8 races. Summer Nationals are off today with Week 3 starting tomorrow at Springfield. Looking ahead to tonight, the World of Outlaws late models are right back to racing with a stop at Independence Motor Speedway in Iowa. We're coming off a 3-race weekend where Brandon Sheppard finally got into the win column, going back-to-back at Thunder Hill and Ponderosa. And Nick Hoffman capped it off Saturday with his series-leading 4th win, scoring the victory at Brownstown. B-Shep leading the championship battle right now by 12 points over Nick Hoffman. You got Cade Dillard 3rd, Bobby Pierce 4th, Kyle Bronson is 5th. We've got a clear delineation right now between the top 2 and everyone else, but I still think Pierce is in the fight. He's 124 points back in that 4th spot. There's about 62 feature positions if you kind of convert that 124 points into feature spots based on about 2 points per position. You do get a few more points for a win, so it could be a bit less than that if Pierce is able to get hot. We aren't quite to halfway yet in the season, so there is still time for Pierce to close. The issue, though, is Sheppard's consistency. 15 top 10s in 16 races so far, and he's got an average finish of 2.6 over his last 5 races. That team really starting to look like they are figuring it out here with this Longhorn chassis and as the Longhorn factory team. Pierce needs to be taking decent chunks out of Sheppard's lead to get back into this, but the B5 likely needs to open the door for him at least a bit. Pierce has 2 wins and 4 podiums in his last 5 races, which is what he needs to do, but Sheppard has just been better. And I don't want Nick Hoffman to get lost in this conversation either, and I think he's another that doesn't get enough respect on the national stage. He's made significant improvements in year 2 as a full-time late model driver. That includes a 3.5 position jump in average start and a 2.5 position jump in average finish on tour with the Outlaws. He trails Bishop a bit in that consistency area, but if he can keep winning races at a high clip, he can get away with just a little bit less consistency and still keep himself in striking distance. The last time the Outlaws were at Independence was 2019. That turned into a Brandon Sheppard win over Chris Simpson and Chase Youngins. We'll see as well if any of these other winless guys can jump up and grab a score that includes Cade Dillard, Kyle Bronson, series champion from a couple years ago, Dennis Erb Jr. I'm curious as well about Dustin Sorensen after that Brownstown performance. Might be a dark horse to pay attention to as well. Sometimes you just need that first opportunity to get up, have a good run, lead some laps, and then you can kind of break through for better finishes and better performances. Hot laps are scheduled for Independence tonight for 7 p.m. Central Time. The Flow Racing Night in America show that was originally supposed to happen in the lead up to the Dirt Late Model Dream at Eldora has found a new date this season. Now this race will kick off action during World 100 week at Eldora in September, with the Flow Series now occupying Wednesday, September 4th. It's going to be a busy week of dirt late model racing with both Lucas and XR in action the Saturday before on August 31st. You've got Lucas also racing Sunday at Tyler County, that's September 1st. And then XR is back at Monday on Kokomo, Monday at Kokomo. Then Flow Series Wednesday at Eldora before 3 days for the World 100. That is through September 7th. So there will be no lack of opportunity to make money that week, but some teams will definitely have some decisions to make, especially those not running full-time with Lucas. With just one race complete, a Ricky Thornton Jr. win at Macon, RTJ leads the Flow Series Championship with the next scheduled event coming up July 8th at Lincoln Speedway. Another late model note for you today, World of Outlaws Late Model Series rookie Daniel Hilsabeck will be out of the seat for a while after suffering a broken arm during a heat race crash on Saturday at Brownstown. Hilsabeck's arm got stuck in the steering wheel during that incident, and he was eventually airlifted to a local Indianapolis hospital. The Iowa driver was 15th in the standings with a best finish of 8th. That came during those split field features at Ultimate Motorsports Park back in May. There is no word on a timeline for his recovery, but hopefully it happens here pretty quickly. All right, that's it for the show today. If you want even more dirt racing content, stop by DIRTRACKR.com to see the latest news from around the sport. Plus, you can peruse new podcast episodes, the analytics section. You've got the daily streaming schedule, a lot of information available there. It's kind of a one-stop shop for all things dirt tracker or dirt racing. So add DIRTRACKR.com to your daily stops. I hope you guys have a great Monday out there. We will see you right back here tomorrow.